Well, hi there. This week we are trying something new. Last week I posted in my Instagram stories asking for sleep SOS questions. Amy submitted a great question about teething and sleep. I can't wait to share it with you and share my thoughts. If you're interested in submitting a question in the future, be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is at Sleep and Wellness Coach. Hi, I'm Allison Egidi, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of two. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. I asked Amy to record and submit her question so you all could hear it. So I'm going to start by playing it.
Hey Allison, we have a 9-month-old transitioning to a 2-nap schedule with nap times starting around 9 and 1:30, but we're running into some major roadblocks because of teething, and we often have to squeeze in a third nap attempt or an earlier bedtime to make up some of that missed daytime sleep. And after we lay him down around 6:37 at night, we're often wakened 1 or 2 times with a crying baby who's struggling to put himself back to sleep. We're afraid he's overtired from so much missed daytime and nighttime sleep, but we are also dealing with an easily stimulated baby when it comes to consoling him back to sleep. How can we help him get better sleep while teething? Thanks so much. We really enjoy the podcast as it's helped us get through some major hurdles.
Amy, I'm so glad you submitted this question because I get a lot of questions about teething and how teething affects sleep. So the first thing I'm going to do is jump on my teething soapbox and dive right in to how I feel about teething and sleep. And then I'm going to circle back with some tips for helping your little guy through the snap transition. Teething and sleep is apparently a very touchy subject. I always joke that I have never gotten more unsubscribes from my email list than when I sent out an email many years ago sharing my thoughts on this very topic. So, what are my controversial thoughts? Well, generally speaking, I don't think teething causes short naps and or night wakings. Now, this is when some parents immediately start to get annoyed with me. But let me explain. First of all, I think it's really important for parents to understand that teething is pretty much a constant from about 4 to 6 months until about 2.5 to 3 years old. I'm going to link to a Cleveland Clinic teething timetable in the show notes so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If teething was truly the cause for a lot of sleep disruptions, there wouldn't be many babies sleeping very well, very often during that 2 to 2.5 year teething period. Now, I'm not claiming that your baby won't ever experience any teething discomfort. I definitely have had clients and even my own kids who seem more agitated during certain periods, and the only thing we could really link it to was probably teething. Babies, of course, can't tell us how much teething bothers them, but I suspect it's more like you or I having a bum knee. That bum knee probably isn't going to wake you up during the night, but if you happen to wake up, it might be annoying. Part of the reason I feel this way is because young children who are verbal and can, at a minimum, communicate with us that something is hurting or bothering them aren't typically complaining about their teeth coming in. Let me give you an example. When my daughter Ainsley was around the age of 3 years old, I was brushing her teeth one night, and all of a sudden, there was a lot of blood. At least it felt like a lot of blood to me. Blood was all over the toothbrush and in her saliva throughout her mouth. Of course, I was immediately concerned. I had her spit everything out. I opened her mouth. I was trying to see if I could look in there and figure out what was going on in there. I quickly saw the source. She had a really nice big molar erupting through her gums. It looked nasty. and her gums around that area were not very happy, particularly with my brushing. So I said to her, Ainsley, you're getting this really big new tooth. Does it hurt? She looked at me puzzled and said, No, where is it? I reached in and tapped it with the toothbrush, and she stuck her tongue back there, and then she stuck her finger in there, and then she said, It just feels funny. I wish I had recorded a video of what this tooth looked like and this conversation I had with her, this interaction about how it felt. It looked like it should hurt, but apparently it just felt funny. And let me just tell you all that if I was willing to chalk sleep disruptions up to teething, my job would be much easier. So I don't share this opinion in the hopes of it benefiting me, because it means we have something else to look into. If it's not teething that's disrupting their sleep, we have something else. So, popular or not, I truly believe that the best way to help your baby deal with any teething discomfort is actually to help them learn to sleep soundly. Because again, I don't think it's going to cause the wakings, but it might be annoying if they wake up and it kind of has that throbbing sensation. Okay, now let me get off of my soapbox and share some tips with you, Amy. Now that your son is 9 months old, I would definitely go ahead and stick with the 2-nap schedule, ditch that 3rd nap, and use that rescue bedtime if needed. I like to see 9-month-olds getting 2.5 to 4 hours of total day sleep, so we definitely want each of his naps to be at least an hour long. We want to find the start times that set him up for those 1 hour plus naps. It sounds like 9 a.m. hasn't been the winning start time, so I would try 9:15 for 3 days. And if that's not working, then 9:30 for 3 days, and then 9:45 for 3 days. If at any point you notice, okay, great, yes, he took a nap that's an hour to an hour and a half long, hold on to that start time. And I recommend you do the same thing for nap 2. Play around with start times between 1 and 2 p.m. in 15-minute intervals and holding at each start time for 3 days to see if you could find a sweet spot. You're looking for that time for that second nap where he would nap 1 to 2 hours. If during this window, when you're trying to nail down those ideal start times, he's getting less than 2.5 hours of total day sleep, go for that rescue bedtime. So for him, I think that would be 6 to 6:30 p.m. if you can swing that. I know that's not always possible, but I suspect when he's going through this transition, just like you said in your question, he's not napping well, then he's getting overtired, and now he's having these night wakings. Those night wakings are probably triggered from being overtired, so that rescue bedtime should help him overcome being overtired. He can make up for some of that missed sleep, and by doing that, he should naturally have fewer night wakings. So hopefully that helps, Amy, as you think about trying to nail down a start time for those 2 naps, moving ahead with the 2-nap schedule, and then rescuing him as needed at bedtime to hopefully cut down on the amount of wakings and the intensity of them. Because I know you mentioned he's easily stimulated if you have to do much engagement. Amy, thanks for submitting your SOS question. Thanks for letting me jump on my teething soapbox. And of course, thanks for listening to the podcast. I'm so glad that you've been finding it helpful. I hope my answer helps you navigate this nap transition and helps other parents in a similar situation, because I assure you, you are not alone. I'll see you back here next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.